Hi there. Welcome to Hanging Out on Monday nights. We've got all kinds of people in here tonight. Ooh, John's here. What's up, John?
Hey,
John's
what's up?
joining us from Boston, and Jay's well, he was from Boston, and Bill was from Boston, and Eric was from Boston, but Alex is from Cyprus, and Aaron's from the Great White North, and Kevin is from Ohio, and Buddy is from Chicago. He's everyone's buddy, by the way. I'm Brian. Welcome to the show. It is brought to you by DJ Event Planner. Have a look at them and our other sponsors down in the description of this video. Now, just so you know, before we go any further, I'm going to give Pastor Jay the floor for 10 minutes because he has a very interesting topic that he'd like to share with us. I yield to the gentleman from Boston, Temecula, wherever he's from this week.
This week, Temecula. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta say, because I am involved in a lot of social media on a corporate level, and a lot of people will send me photos and content, and it's not good. And I think we need to leave the block photos. If you want to show your setup at an event or a venue and you go, snap, there's my setup table, speakers, lights, perfect. But if you get into the realm of corporate world where you're trying to show a product line, you've got to show logos. And one of the worst things, and I'm also guilty of this, I'm trying not to be, but distance with a phone is a killer. You can't get 30 feet away and go, here's a photo, look at this cool thing. It doesn't work. You have to be a foot or two away, and you've got to capture a logo, and I've been telling some DJs over the weekend, go to different Instagram accounts where there's really nice looking photos, go to different brands, go look at Rolls Royce, go look at Ferrari, go look at Lamborghini. Their photos are draped, they're shadowed, they're cut, they're showing just the wheel. Look at old Mustang photos. They're not just like, here's a Mustang. It's like, here's a cool angle. Here's a shadow. Here's water on the floor. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But as DJs, I think we view the photos as last in line, and it's becoming more and more of an issue for us in the social media realm. It's visual. But the problem has become your photo is competing against a video. 5, 10 years ago, it was a photo to a photo. Now there's Instagram Shorts, Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook Reels. Like we're being barraged with video. And I think we need to kind of up our game as individuals and really start focusing a little more on, if you're going to take a photo and post it, don't get stuck in the box of symmetry of like, here's a square, I took a photo, it looks good. Get angles, bend down, come over, get close, especially if you want to capture logos, because manufacturers, I promise you, this is the 100% truth. Manufacturers are looking at your photos. They are looking at logos, they are looking at photos, and they are offering opportunities to people that present the product in a good light. So take 10 minutes in one day and go look at some great photos and then try to replicate them. But understand distance is a thing, nighttime light is a thing, and just try to add something a little more flavor, because your account will stand out much more, not only on the bride and groom level or party level, but on the corporate level. So because it's been given to me over the weekend to deal with this, I just wanted to pass that along as some advice to people. But really, find a photo you like, find out who took it, and see what else they've done. Look up Herb Ritz from back in the day. Look up Peter Lick. Peter Lick's an amazing photographer. And just see if you can somehow find something that you can adapt to your style when you do your post. So I appreciate the time, Brian.
Hey,
I wanted to throw that out there as
it's
a bit
our
of
show.
free advice to kind of help people, because, the photos aren't good, guys. I'm sorry. Make them good, and it will open doors. I promise you.
I remember when we moved from Indiana to California, when I was a little kid, we had one last family reunion because we were all together for the last time. And we went out to my uncle's place. Big spread. He just bought it, a couple acres of land. And there was a picture of all of my uncles together. and the picture is taken kind of like all my uncles are sitting in the middle of a cornfield somewhere, and you can barely see them, but you can see the landscape all around them.
Yeah.
This was in the days before you could take a look at the picture and say, I don't want to keep it, whatever. No, I don't want it. This was on film, and you really didn't know what you were taking. But I think my family thought, oh, bang for the buck. I get more in the picture if I stand back. It's like, no.
No, yeah.
Get in there.
Yeah. I have a photo from my wedding. My wedding was 2000, all film. I don't have a digital photo of my wedding, not one. And the photos came back, and there's a photo of me with my mom and dad and my sisters at the wedding. It's a black and white photo, and it literally brings tears to my eyes every time I see it. And it was worth every penny I paid for the photographer for that one photo. And I think we need to go back to realizing the strength and power that these things possess. And if you have something like, that's a great example, Brian. It's like you said just what I said, like, you got to get closer. It's a great landscape.
Right.
But, and if you've got an iPhone or a Samsung or a Galaxy or whatever Android product you carry, I know those things have amazing cameras, and you can shoot movies with these things. So take 10 minutes, take a day where instead of watching TV or doing something stupid, say, hey, I'm going to go online and see if there's a YouTube video on how to use my iPhone for better photos. Just a very quick example. Here's my camera. This is an iPhone. I did an event last week, and I showed all you guys a photo earlier. It's on my IG page. That photo was taken like that because the person next to me said, oh, just turn your phone upside down. I'm like, what? And they're like, take the photo this way. So if this is the counter, I put my phone on the counter and took the photo. Otherwise, I would have had to be like, oh, right. Here we go. I mean, something stupid like that, and it makes a real difference. So take a minute or two and just understand that your presence on social media, you're being judged. And I think people can do it well. So
it's absolutely crazy how many hats that we're expected to wear as working DJs. Jay just spoke about photography. That's a hat we need to wear. We have to know how to take pictures. We need to know how to take video. We need to know how to do all kinds of stuff, let alone music. Forget about that for a minute, which most people conveniently do. There are so many other things that you need to learn how to do. It's
how about
crazy.
Contacts? I used to call you on your phone. Now you and I will speak on phones. You and I made a text to each other last week on phone. Mm. You and I spoke tonight on Facebook Messenger. I don't think we've spoken on Instagram, but before you know it, there's 7 or 8 ways to get in touch with somebody. Yeah. Again,
and that's a great idea, by the way, society. We needed 7 or 8 ways to communicate.
Oh, it's insane. You get up in the morning and I check my text. I'm like, cool, I got no text. Then I go to Facebook and I'm like, you got 13 messages. And now I'm going through like, no, we're not making that anymore. Oh, yes, that does work with Serato. Oh, hey, Bill, what's up? Or, oh, really? Oh, that's a great picture. Oh, wow, I never saw this. Like we've gone from just being, hello, this is Brian. I'm available for your wedding to, hold on a second. I've got to post 35 different sites, answer 75 different questions, and all in the while still focus solely on what I'm doing at the time. Remember the days of not getting on your phone at a wedding? Now, every wedding I've done in the last 2 years, you know what the coordinators say to me? Hey, I'm going to text you when the bride and groom get here. I'm going to text you when we're ready for the grand entrance. And I'm standing there like this the whole night going, oh, cool. Okay, thumbs up. I look like I'm not paying attention. 5 years ago, I'd be like, fire the DJ. Now I'm like, they got to do it. And side note, for what it's worth, when I do the NAMM show, I put an earbud, one of the wireless ones, in my ear. Because if my phone has a text, it'll ting in my ear. So I'll pull my phone out and look. Because what was happening was people were like, dude, I sent you 5 texts. Oh, I didn't feel it vibrate in my pocket. So now I have to wear one of these at shows. Just please stop. Like, I'm at the bar. Leave me alone. Like,
there's some stuff that we just can't get around. I mean, no, we're not all going to be great at everything, but the better we are at some of these little things, the more successful we're going to be. And 100%. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Segueing into another topic, but same thing, something we have to learn how to do, or something we have to be relatively good at to be successful. I'll make a short story long, but I won't make it too long. So Art calls me about 2 weeks ago, and he says, look, I got a friend of mine, and he needs to have a DJ come for a 50th anniversary party for his folks. And can you take care of him? I'm like, yeah, I'll take care of him, no problem. So I talked to this guy briefly on text, and he says, yeah, you probably need to talk to my wife. So, okay. So I started talking to the wife. Turns out mom and dad are from Argentina, and they're in Argentina right now, but they will have been married 50 years at the beginning of May, which alone is an accomplishment. Congratulations. And I said, okay, well, what's going on? Well, we're going to have a party for them, and it's going to be like a 4-hour party, and it's going to be like probably mostly dinner and then some dancing and like 50 people. I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound like a big deal. And then she says, okay, when they get back from Argentina, they'd like to meet with you and discuss this party. Like, okay. So it kind of went from this no nonsense 50th wedding anniversary to something I'm doing a little more planning with. That you feel what I'm saying, folks?
100%. I know exactly where this story is going. Yeah.
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 So I meet with him tonight. Very nice. We discuss music. We discuss times. We discuss logistics. And then at the end of the conversation, the daughter, who speaks fluent English, says to me, okay, well, how much is this going to cost us? Like, oh, God. How am I going to handle this?
And in your back of your head, you're like, can you hear his voice saying, can you take care of this? Is that as a friend? Is that as like, give him a deal?
Oh, as I had told Art, I said, I can't give this away.
Right.
I mean, I can't.
Is this Friday or Saturday?
Like, no, don't. It's a Saturday night.
Oh, so you're turning down a wedding
I'm
if you
turning,
take the gig.
If I had a wedding, yes, or even a club gig or whatever, it doesn't matter.
Right.
This is the job I'm taking for the night. So I give her the price, and I just tell you right now, I tried to give him a break. I said $1,000.
20 hours
Mom looked like I just slapped her in the face.
Yeah, of course.
How many hours? That is so much money. Oh, I don't know if we can do that or not.
Okay, then don't.
Yeah.
Well,
unfortunately, that's where I'm at, because
of course. But you don't say that.
No, right.
Because we're in sales mode at this point.
Right.
I'm thinking in my head, I gave him $400 off of what I was going to normally charge.
Right.
But I'm looking at this lady in her late 70s.
Yep.
Oh, man. So,
and then you're hot. Yeah.
And she's bulking at this, and the daughter's like, whatever you want to do, Mom. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, we went through all this crap. I did all this crap, and they might just walk. Well, if they do, they do, whatever. So I look at her, and I say,
and you're going to say it in Spanish too, I bet.
No, I spoke all English. I said, I know it sounds like a lot, but I promise you I'm bringing you a quality product.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a party where it was too loud and it hurt your ears? Yeah, I hate that. I'm like, you won't have that at this party.
No.
You'll be able to talk to each other, and you'll be able to dance and feel the music. Oh, that's great. You ever been to a party where the lights are just going crazy and shining in your eyes? Yeah, I hate that. You won't have that at this party. I promise you, I'm going to bring you a quality product. Everything from the music to the setup to the sound to the lighting, it's going to be all pleasure, no pain. And we're not going to be sending a 15-year-old kid in here to do this for you. And she said, oh, okay. That sounds fair. It's sales.
It's knowing what they want. You had to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke their language.
I was just curious if anybody else had any input on this. I mean, some of you run into this, and I understand. It's very easy for us to say as a collective, well, you can take it or leave it. But
we never do that.
What really happens in the meeting?
No, it never happens.
It happens on our head.
It does not.
But it doesn't happen in the meeting. How are we handling this tactfully and successfully with those particular clients? Like I said, this time I'm dealing with a woman from Argentina in her mid-70s.
Yep.
We all have unique clients. Anybody have anything they want to share with us, or some techniques or some situations that they've had with something like this and a way they've handled it successfully?
I think it's asking a lot of questions up front, and it sounds like you did, because if they answer those questions early, at the end of this, when they say how much and you give them a price and they get upset by it, you now can give them back the answers they've already given you. Well, you're concerned about this, you're concerned about that, and I've already said, I famously start with like, hey, I promise you it won't be too loud. I'm going to focus on the dance floor. I want your mom and grandma to talk in the background. An hour later, it's like, do you have any questions? Well, my mom's worried about the sound. Well, like I said, when we first sat down, this is a concern of mine as well. And I want to make sure that everyone, I bumped into somebody last night. I did her 70th birthday party 3 years ago. She was raving last night when I bumped into her in Old Town, raving like the party happened a week ago. It happened 3 years ago. She can't wait for her 75th birthday because she's hiring me for that to do the next party, because everything we talked about before her party came true. And I think it's a case by case thing, but I also think it's a matter of you need to build that really fast hour-long relationship and speak to what their concerns are. Like, her concern was, that's an awful lot of money. That wasn't her concern. Her concern was, I want the right person to do this party. I want this party to go smooth. I want this to be a great celebration. I hate when I hear, well, you can hire a 10-year-old for half the price and they're going to ruin it. Don't scare your clients. Don't play off of, I'll tell people all the time, weddings, retirements, birthdays, you only get one shot at those. You want this to be the best possible party ever. You're not doing another one of these ever again.
Are we going to do a show of
that's
hands, or do I just have to pick on people individually? Because I want to go to Alex like that, but I can go to.
One of the other things is, though, and you got to kind of let your client know in one way or another, the biggest price you're going to pay for this party is regret. You can't get that back. If you regret hiring the wrong person, you regret doing the wrong thing. Yeah, this guy might have been 1,000. This guy was 600. I went with the 600, and I regret hiring him. You can't get that.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. I'm not
biggest
sure
price you're going to pay for
to articulate that, but I like your point.
It's a great point, but you're right, and it's hard to articulate.
Yes,
the regret, and that's what I meant about you're not doing this again. Is a subtle regret thing.
That's right. Where I took that from.
Yeah,
and
it's
I like it. I like it.
There's a way to get that across.
What's going on over in Cyprus, Alex? Do you ever run into
he
this?
He books everything that comes his way.
People get stick. Yeah, I mean, they're probably just throwing money at this guy.
No, they are. Oh, yeah. He's doing 7,000 weddings a year. He's done.
It's 6,000, but anyway. Well, obviously, when I wasn't being a DJ, I did work in sales. So obviously, the main thing was to always ask open questions. Open questions is a question where they can't reply with a simple yes or no.
Right.
So, how do you see your party? How do you ask them questions where they come back and then give their input, and then you can work on that rather than like going, would you like lights? Yes or no? How would you like the lighting? Do you want an Ibiza techno disco set lighting, or would you like it more ambient? Maybe some architectural lighting around your venue, if it's a wedding, or maybe they've got a really nice house and some arches and things like that. So when people come in, we can put some uplighting here, so it's going to look really nice, give a great image when your guests arrive to your house, things like that. So that's the main thing. Ask them open questions where you just want to ask a question and let them speak. Let them give you all the input. Don't be sitting there spending 20 minutes constantly talking to them, going, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Because after 5 minutes, their eyes have rolled back and they're just gone into autopilot mode, and they might catch a few things. So that's the main.
Listening is important.
Talking,
Something else I was thinking about too, and I did not use it in this instance. Maybe I should have, but I wasn't even thinking about it. Is cost analysis, and I'm thinking maybe Buddy uses this when he does sales. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just thinking maybe Buddy's the guy who literally breaks it down for him. what this is actually costing him to go out and do an event for somebody?
I bet he is.
Am I
one
wrong?
of the things when Tracy and I talk to clients about a wedding, and we're talking about price and stuff like that, is what is the big difference? And yeah, cost is part of that, and we explain to them, everything that we're doing for their day, and kind of like what Bill touched on is, yeah, you kind of bring it up a little earlier on in the conversation, is that you don't want the regrets. Well, if again, you hire someone who is or who has a great experience in the area, it's kind of like going to a doctor. If you go to a doctor, you go to a specialist, and they're going to work on your knee, your elbow, your arm, whatever it is. Do you want someone who is doing it, here and there, or do you want someone who does it, a lot more, who has the experience and understanding? If something arises, something comes up, and something happens at the wedding, who's going to cover you? Who's going to help you? Who's going to support you?
Right.
One thing we always tell our customers that we are a support team for them. And if something arises, such as, spilling a drink or doing something, you need a sewing kit, whatever, we have that stuff. So
You're talking about value. You're talking about
if you show
I
that,
was just going to say the
show
same
that.
thing. Over cost, what's a cost? That's not a cost. It's what's the value.
Now,
and that's the thing. We're selling something that's non-tangible. We're not
Right.
selling them a cell phone. We're not selling them something that they can hold their
what
hands.
if the client's
Still
looking
memories.
at it like that? And the person maybe that I should have called on for this is my kindred spirit, who also sold cars. Boston John.
Can't trust those guys.
Boston John knows what I'm talking about when it comes to cost analysis.
Yeah.
Will you explain to them? Look,
10 grand for a 73.
I
Chevy?
need
Come on.
I need to just my expenses to show up at your event, whatever it happens to be. $100 is my cost on that. The equipment, when you break it down to rental or whatever, this is my cost on that. Do you do that, John? Have you ever done the cost analysis?
No, I know you famously have done the, what does it cost me to leave my house? Everything from all factored in, insurance on the vehicle, the gas, the mileage, the time.
I got it from the car.
You can show it as a bottom line as a number, but it's probably better so to show it on the value side. Again, it's not a tangible product, like Buddy said. You're buying an experience.
Yeah.
They have to trust you. They have to like you. And when you want to get the information before you put a number together in your head of what this is going to cost you for the day. And when you throw that number at them, if they're hesitant, then something was lost in translation and not understanding the full value. Then you have to start reiterating those points. Well, you said it was important that the bright lights weren't going to be in your face. Is that right? And you said you didn't want the music too loud so you can have conversations. Isn't that right? Well, isn't that worth something to you? You use those, their own bullet points to help close the sale, to show that you were listening, that you were paying attention. Whereas someone else will say, I'm going to come in and play my own music, and I don't care if you see what the lights look like or not. Show that you're invested in it, and that it's a time.
Yeah.
And the expectation is for you to put the proper show together, get there on time, set it up, deliver the experience, and take it all away, and they don't have to think about it. That has a price, and it might be a little more than the $600 guy.
Kevin, what you say? What do you have on this? You've got to have something to offer. Yeah, you.
Oh,
You're
okay. Yeah,
You're part of
I
it.
didn't hear the word Kevin,
You're one of
sorry.
us. What do you got?
I didn't hear the name Kevin. I was like,
I'm sorry.
Like it must have skipped or something. I go at it like, years of experience, which translates to, knowing better, doing those things that you were talking about, making sure the lights are here. If I need to add supplemental sound further down into the venue that brings that level down to a more moderate level, maybe turn them then off when I'm into the dance portion. Those are all things that I tell them, with the experience of years, translates to knowing better wrong from right. And a new guy that's charging less might not know better.
Yeah.
But if he watches this show, he will learn.
You would hope.
Yes.
You would hope they would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
An experience can be rated as a couple of things. Is it 20 years of experience or 1 year repeated 20 times?
Yeah, and I will also make the argument that I will have been in this business for 40 years this year. And I don't think that's a selling point anymore.
I agree.
I think if I told
You're on the
somebody,
wrong side.
yeah, I've been a DJ for
It's
40
a
years,
turn off
they're
now.
like, who the hell are you, Wolfman Jack? Get out of here, man. You're older than my
Throw out
grandparents.
Well, I don't know.
You've been
I
in
think
this
for
so
some
long.
older
I said,
people-
yeah, the Last Supper was good, but the resurrection that really rocked.
really rocked. The
You
other
don't
thing-
want any Glenn Miller at this gig, okay, pal?
The other thing I like to emphasize the fact that I've been around multiple DJs, so I've taken bits and pieces of knowledge I've gleaned from them to incorporate the man I am. Some of the things I like from that person, some of the things I like from that.
Yeah.
I physically love going out and seeing other people how they do their
Yeah.
show. That's
Never stop
one of the
learning.
things- Yes, that's one of the things I would love to be able to do more of. But some I think are very guarded on what they do because they feel if they give that information out, then what sets them apart?
Yeah.
So in some ways, you're creating a McDonald's if everybody's doing the same thing.
You're right.
Not quite exactly because not everybody's the same person. So your personality is still going to shine through. But if you're doing the same, I'll call it shtick, then, in some ways you could become sort of not unique anymore.
Aaron, what do you say in Canada?
Exactly where Kevin was going with that. I had a potential client approach me on Saturday night, and he said, yeah, everything looks great. The sound is really good, and it's all good. He said, the music's just not really my thing. He said, what can you do? I said, when we sit down, I'm going to tailor the day to your taste. I'm going to sit down with you and your fiance. We're going to go over everything to make sure it's exactly the way you want it. I said, tonight there was some weird stuff. It was a 420 wedding that we did. So there was a couple of weird songs that were played, and it was stuff I personally hadn't heard before. And it was
Play Basketball Jones?
It was like an old Dominion track completely done in meow by a cat.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was out there. It was fun. Everybody had a really good time, and they were outside a lot. So the dance floor was only half full for most of the night, but I understood why. It was their celebration, and it was a good time. We got good review at the end of it, and so I sit down and I tell them, like, with me and an advantage of going with it, and the prices might be a bit higher, but what we're going to do is when we sit down, I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to find out what year you graduated. We're going to build the night specifically for you. So this is going to be tailored to you. This is like a boutique wedding. This is all in one package, one price. Here it is, but it's going to be made for you, for the room, for the head count, because I'm going to take those years of experience that you have, Brian, and I lean on that and say, I've been doing this a long time. So, and I know most of the rooms in my area. So I know what speakers I'm bringing. I'm not going to bring, I saw a photo tonight. The guy had 8 subwoofers on the floor on a small room where another DJ's like, dude, I only need 2 in that room. You've got 8. See, those are the things we're going to lean on is our professionalism, our knowledge, and our experience. And I'll show them
Get away.
the reviews.
I probably keep saying you only had a half full dance floor. It's just me, though. I'm just saying.
I want everyone
to pass on the Dutchie on the
There was a
left-hand
window
side.
behind me. I looked outside, and they were dancing outside, so that was okay.
I really like Canada. I've been to Canada. People are lovely in Canada. I feel very welcome in Canada. I will tell you this about Canada. Most of the people in Canada are high most of the time.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Am I
I'm glad
right
you
or am I
guys
wrong?
don't have guns because of that. That's a thing down here we're actually happy about.
I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying that most of the people in
I'm
Canada
just
are
saying,
high most of the time.
Brian, can I ask you a question?
I won't
on
go that
this,
far.
though?
The party I was at, though, yes, I'll agree at that party. But really good people. Great. It was fun.
Yes.
Question, Brian.
Yes,
Would you move on your price if you have a client digging their heels?
Usually not.
Good.
That's something. I mean, when I price an event, I price it with what I think is fair. I never try to gouge anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if I do have a client where I really don't want to do their job, I may inflate the price. And if they bulk on it, that's my easy way out. True story.
I totally have, and I'm in that ballpark as well. We've all done that, but don't lower your price to get the job.
Well, I mean, you got to eat. You got to eat.
I just don't think you should diminish your value to win the sale.
Alex, you were going to say?
I never reduce my DJ price. However, to clinch the deal, I may give them an upgrade at a lesser price.
Correct.
So I'm never discounting the DJ aspect. The bulk of the package, shall we say? However, I might say, you have a nice venue. I tell you what, I can do you the uplighting. I can give you X amount off. That way I'm making more money. Because at the end of the day, uplighting. It's not. Running costs is negligible. So you're upgrading, but at the same time, the customer feels that they're getting a discount.
I'm having a feeling that if I am somebody in a client meeting with Eric, and we've gone through the whole spiel, and Eric gives the price, and the client says, "Ooh, that's a bit much," he's just going to look at him and say, "F you, pay me."
I
mean, you guys have seen Goodfellas, right? I'm thinking that's probably what happened here.
I have my people do that.
Oh, they call them concierges.
I'm thinking Eric starts laying out the plastic on the floor.
Yeah, brings them to the shed. Let's talk about the price.
I'm too busy digging the hole in the yacht. Okay?
Come on, you're not past that point yet? Come on.
All right. No, I still got to dig.
That's bad management.
I thought Eric's going to say, are you going to get in the trunk, or do I have to put you in the trunk?
Yes. Do I need to carry you in that trunk or what? But all right. No, listen. I'm gonna put a whole new twist on this right now, and you guys may hate me for this.
We hate you anyway.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It don't matter. Right.
But try the clams, everybody.
You already hate me, right? So, right now, and we all know it. We're all human. Everything is gone up, from the price of gas to the price of food. Everything
to the paper you print everything on.
Right. Everything but wages, people wages, and right now, let's just say if somebody went with the $600 DJ, that's a big gamble they're taking, right? It's a gamble. It's a gamble at this point.
Yeah, it could go well, it could not.
Right. And I got an example, and it has nothing to do with DJing, but I'm a big fan of the barbecue Frito corn chips, right?
Okay.
All right. No, but listen, hear me out. My wife went to the Dollar Tree the other day, and she brought some wacko brand of the same product, but it didn't have Frito's name on it. And she goes, "Look, I saved $3." And you know what? Wasn't so bad. So that wasn't a bad gamble. So if you look at it at the client's point of view at this point, I'm just saying, sometimes they may
benefit from spending less.
Gamble. Right. They may benefit from the gamble. But it's not going to happen all the time. That's my point.
Well, pretty much killed what we all said. Thank you, Eric.
No, I understand what he's saying.
I wouldn't go back to what Jay said. And
I'm not trying to kill
one
it.
shot at this. You want to throw that gamble out there, and you pull that bag of chips that tasted like shit.
I've told people all the time, if I do a house party for you and it goes south, at the end of the night, I'm going to say, you know what? I had problems. The gear broke down. I feel terrible. I'll tell you what I'll do. I charged you $500 for 3 hours of a house party on a Saturday where I wasn't booked. You find another date where I'm available, and I'll give you a free house party. And they're probably going to book me for something else.
Of course.
Now, think about that's a house party. The problem is the reason the wedding is 3 times more money, or 4 times, or 10 times, or whatever, is because if the DJ ruins your wedding on Saturday, you can't call me on Monday morning and go, "Hey, I got married this past Saturday. The DJ was terrible. Can you redo it for me?" No.
No, you
can't escape that memory because of the importance of it.
To go back to what we were talking about initially, and before we were time, but in my particular case, I get this call or the text or whatever at the beginning of the month. The gig is May 4th, which is the Star Wars day.
Be with you, yeah.
Yeah. The only time they can meet with me is tonight, which is the 22nd, which is less than 2 weeks out before the event.
Yes.
So
Which is
although
a pressure tactic of the buyer as well.
in my head, I'm on one hand thinking to myself, you know what? We did not talk price. I did not explain that, this is not going to be free. On the other hand, I'm thinking to myself, how in the hell would they even get anybody in time to do
That's your gamble.
That's
How
their
was your
gamble,
gamble?
not yours.
2 weeks out.
I got a hit for this Friday coming up in 4 days.
Corporate?
Yes, gave them a price.
That's typical now.
And as of tomorrow, I'm releasing the date. I'm still on hold for this date. And I gave them, it's an 11 to 4 o'clock gig. Or 11 to 5. So it's 6 hours in a store with a perfume company in a major, major, major chain store. Gave them a price. Walmart. And I'm fine with it because I don't want to do it because I have to work Saturday at a wedding and then Sunday morning I fly to Chicago. So if I don't do the gig, I'm okay. But as of tomorrow, they're getting an email from me saying, you know what?
We've released the date.
I'm releasing the date.
Yeah.
I hope you've already found other entertainment, blah, 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 this and that. Now they can come back and say, oh no, we just got the go ahead. You're hired. So I'm either going to be in trouble or I'm not working. It's one of it. But this is like with you, Brian, you're like, hey, they're not going to find a replacement. Yeah, they are. I guarantee they will. I can call Milwaukee right now and say, hey, I got a 75th birthday party, Argentinian client, Saturday, May the 4th. Are you available? Because now they have a price tag. This is the downside of our business. They can go to another DJ and say, hey, I talked to another DJ. He's really good in the area. He can do it for 900.
Maybe there were some other factors
or 800
that we didn't discuss, but maybe.
Say, what can you do?
You know what I'm driving at?
I felt, knowing the circumstances involved, I felt pretty good about it.
Right,
100%.
I think
this is why pricing yourself out. Drax, and all the credit to Drax on this. Probably 20 years ago, he said, "Do you charge extra for uplights?" And I said, "Yes." He goes, "Do you tell the client the price?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "You're giving away the uplights." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "If you say you can do uplights for 300, they can call the next guy and say, 'Hey, I just got a quote for 200 for uplights. Can you match it?' Yes." He goes, "That's why you have what it sounds like you did, Brian, is here is my package. This is what I'm giving you for this money."
Yeah, it's all I don't use it down. I hate the word package. It makes it sound like it's in my pants. I say
it sounds
it's
more
all
like
inclusive.
right,
Well,
all inclusive.
But it's the same thing.
That's my package. This is all inclusive.
You know
Okay, well, if you want to get all Quentin Tarantino on me, that's fine, dude. I don't know.
And on that note, we are 10 minutes over. So we got to go, but we can continue this conversation off camera. And if you guys are here chilling out, watching us, you can hang out with us off camera too. Any of you who are watching, come here on Monday nights. You can always chill out after the recorded broadcast.
Hey, side note, why don't you put your Instagram handle in the comments and we can all start following each other to build each other's social media.
Good plan, sir.
My Lord, kumbaya. Guys, thank you so much.
Said the guy with two